For all of you familiar with my popular Crab Imperial video, in this episode I'll be making Shrimp Imperial, but it's with a tasty twist, so hang on and check it out. With the popularity of my Imperial Crab recipe, I thought I had to show you guys my Shrimp Imperial. Now you're probably thinking, she's just gonna put her Imperial Crab stuffing into the shrimp. Nope. Today, I found super fresh bay shrimp, salad shrimp. They're like the ocean's candy. And so today we're taking my Imperial Crab mixture and using little shrimp to stuff big shrimp. So I think you're really going to enjoy this, and we're gonna get going by making my Imperial sauce. And today I just halved the sauce from my last recipe because I'm only making 2 servings for my husband and myself. And so we're gonna start out here with 3/4 of a cup of mayo. And about 2 teaspoons of fresh chopped parsley. And we'll have all these measurements in the description below. And here's some Worcestershire sauce we're going to put in there. And 1 teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And here's 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. And a little twist to the shrimp. The shrimp can take a little bit more spice than the crab. With the crab, you want the crab to shine. With the shrimp, they need a little oomph. And so, unlike my last Imperial sauce, on this one I'm adding 1 clove of garlic that I've minced very fine. That was a pretty good sized clove. And 1/2 teaspoon of celery salt. Celery salt's pretty important, so make sure it's celery salt and not regular salt. And we're gonna give that a mix. I'll throw a little more parsley in there. And when I do the Imperial shrimp, because I put garlic in here, I like to make the sauce in advance, usually, and let it sit a little bit to let all those flavors come together. And so now you take all those very pretty little bay shrimp, and this is about 3/4 of a pound here, and I'm gonna put in about maybe 1/2 pound. Mix that up and see what that looks like. You want it to be pretty full of shrimp. That definitely needs the whole 3/4 pound. Because you want a lot of shrimp in there. I mean, can you have too many shrimp, really? All right, now, because this is your filling, shrimp don't bind like crab does. And so also with this, that I did not do in my Crab Imperial, is I'm gonna add my homemade, they're like a buttery garlic breadcrumb. And you can see they're not super fine. But if you don't wanna make homemade ones, you can always use like panko and put them in a pan and mix them with a little garlic and butter to replicate this. And so I'm gonna put in a couple handfuls of that. You want it to be a little thick. Okay, and I'm also going to put some cracked fresh pepper. That's maybe about 1/4 teaspoon. A little more crumbs. You want to save some of these so you can Sprinkle some on the top after you've assembled the shrimp. You see how that's getting thicker? That's what you want. See, that's pretty thick. That's what you're looking for. And I'm gonna set that aside. And here's my little gratin dish. And I'll tell you, these used to belong to my husband's grandmother. So everything old is new again. I use them all the time and they're great. The gratin dishes I see in the stores are, I think, a little bit bigger than these, but it doesn't matter. You just come up with more shrimp, right? I mean, there again, you can't have too many shrimp. And I bought these shrimp already deveined, and what I did was I just sliced them. See how they curl like that? I sliced them, I'm gonna say, on the belly, so they butterflied a little bit like that. And I think they look best that way when you lay them in the gratin pan, so that when you put the stuffing on top, it sits on top of the flat part there. Now, if you're gonna do my crab imperial recipe, one of the options is to slice your shrimp the opposite direction. So whereas I cut these this way, you can cut them on the back side here, so that when you put them in a dish like that, and you put the crab imperial on top, or this one even, you can rest the tail on top of the dollop of stuffing there, and it gives it a whole different look. However, with these, you'll see when it's cooked, it looks really pretty because the shrimp stuffing will be here, and these will kind of curl up like that, and it looks quite pretty. But I'm jumping the gun, so I've already filled up this one with the shrimp, and so let's put these in here. You just lay them in there. And these are a U12. And the U, when you buy shrimp, you'll see them on the sign or on the bag, and that means under. So there's gonna be under 12 shrimp per pound. And the smaller the number, like a U10, U9, means really monster shrimp. And the bigger the number, like a U16 or U22, means smaller shrimp. And with these gratin dishes, I can fit about 3 in there, like so. And it covers the bottom pretty good. And now we're just gonna take, oh yeah, I'm gonna put some of my garlic salt in there, because I find they need just a little bit of salt before I put the stuffing on there. So just a little bit of garlic salt. And then the stuffing. And you put whatever you like here. You can put a little bit, a thin layer. I just do it so I think it looks good, and there's kind of a medium layer. And when you're cleaning your shrimp for this dish, you want to pat them very, very dry, because being that you're cooking the shrimp in these bowls, you'll get a little bit of moisture down there. So to eliminate as much of that moisture as possible, you want your shrimp as dry as possible. I think that's looking pretty good. And also with my crab imperial, I cook those at 400 degrees, because technically the crab is already cooked, and you're pretty much just warming the ingredients and browning that lovely layer of imperial sauce. Whereas these, you're cooking the shrimp, and I don't want it to be over brown, and so I lower the temperature to 375 and cook them a little longer, about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how quickly the shrimp get opaque, and it also depends how big your shrimp are. So also at this moment, I'm gonna sprinkle these with a little paprika, and all that really is color. If you really, really, really like paprika, you can put a ton on there, but it's really just for color. And then you take the rest of your breadcrumbs, or a decent amount, I wouldn't say the rest, because I just poured some in this bowl. And you put those on top, and give them a little press. And those are all ready to go in the oven, 375, for about 15 to 20 minutes. Look at how gorgeous these are, you guys. See when I was telling you how you lay those shrimp in there and they cook and the tails come up like this, they just scream, pick me up and eat me. No, pick me up and eat me. So the finishing touch here is we're just gonna take a little fresh parsley and sprinkle that on. I mean, they're so delicious and they're so easy. You're gonna wow everybody with these. So if you enjoy this video, please hit like and subscribe at the end, and we'll see you next time. Now you have a difficult, delicious decision: crab imperial or shrimp imperial, or both. And as always, if it's time tested, top-notch ingredients, and the talk of the table, it's Cindy certified.